Hello, everyone. My name is Oleg Pankevich, and I am a pre-sales solution engineer at StarWind. I hope you can hear me well and can see the screen with the webinar's title. Today, we will talk about backup and cost-efficient offsite repository for it. I think we can start now. And in the beginning, we remember the 3-to-1 backup rule, a variety of backup media, then get an overview about the cloud storage, and in the last part of the webinar, I will show you how easy and quick the virtual machine can be recovered from cloud in case of disaster. You can write your question in chat window, and I will answer them in the end of the webinar. I'd like to start with 3-to-1 backup rule, which says there must be 3 copies of data in 2 forms and 1 must be stored on a remote location. It's not smart to have just 1 copy of data. And once it comes to keeping multiple copies of data, nobody will probably keep them all on one device, right? That thing may malfunction, the backup on it may turn out to be inconsistent, or it may be encrypted but by some ransomware. Whatever bad can happen may happen, as people say. And having 3 copies saves you from an event like that. The more data copies you have, the better it is for data safety. And with 3 copies, the probability of losing the whole data is quite miserable. Okay, but why the data should be kept in 2 forms? The thing is, all storage media have own strong and weak sides. So effective combination of 2 formats allows getting the best of 2 worlds and avoiding the risk of losing your data due to the same hardware failure. For example, the combination of NAS repository with tapes or cloud storage ensures that the backups will be independent of any media failure. And the last, but not the least, is 1 copy on on-site location. Let's imagine that the data center will be destroyed by fire, hurricane, or earthquake. In this case, there are no matter how much copies of data are in this location, 3 or 30. That's why keep always 1 backup on remote location. It can be a disaster recovery site, public cloud, or even you can load physical tapes with backups in a truck and move it to something like a bank safe. As a backup storage, we can use disks, for example, in NAS, in SAN, or even local storage, tapes, cloud storage, and also less popular media like compact disc, DVD, Blu-ray disc, or zip drives. On the slide, you can see the advantages of 3 main backup storages. A disk-based solution is widespread, especially in SMB area and medium-sized enterprises because of low initial cost and ease of use. The backups can be moved to another location over the network within a couple mouse clicks. One of the most important aspects of data protection is the ability to backup and recover files, application on entire virtual machines quickly. This is where backup to disk shines. Disk-based backups target storage disk arrays or disk-based storage volumes. Unlike tape storage, which requires the loading and unloading of tapes to or from the tape library, disk-based backup requires no loading or unloading of physical media for access. Today's powerful disk storage arrays backed with modern network infrastructure provide immense throughput capabilities that allow quick data copy rates from production infrastructure to disk-based storage. But together with advantages, there are some disadvantages of using disks as a backup. Because backups are stored as the files on top of file system, some ransomware can encrypt all these backups. The second disadvantage is the lifespan of HDD drives, and it is lower as tapes. Most enterprise HDDs has 5 years warranty. Certainly, it such HDDs can work up to 10 years or even more, but no one guarantees a good work after the 5 years. And the last disadvantage is the higher cost per 1 gigabyte in compare with the tapes. Tapes provide the most cost-efficient backup per 1 gigabyte. The modern LTO generation 8 with 12 terabyte raw capacity can be acquired for something like $300 or even less. Where long-term storage or archival data is concerned, expensive disk arrays are not practical and scalable enough. This is typically where backup to tape shines. Tapes in general are durable. The tapes can store the data from 25 or 30 years, what can be crucial for archiving. As they can easily be cataloged, shipped, and stored for long periods of time, then rotated out as data retention policies are met. When comparing the scalability of a tape system versus a disk-based solution, the tape drive is essentially infinitely scalable because you can simply buy more tapes. Tape is a medium also holds a major advantage over disk backup for organizations that want to keep a copy of their backups offsite, but have no additional site connected via wide area network link or even don't have any other remote sites. As already mentioned, you can store tapes with a backup offsite without having any IT infrastructure there. Just you should find a suitable vault for it. On the contrary to disk-based backups, the current ransomware cannot aim tape drives and your backups will not be changed or encrypted by this software. Certainly now a couple of disadvantages of tapes. The first one is the slower access and transfer speed. The tape should be loaded into drive and only then the restore will start. The access pattern can be only sequential, so if you need to restore one file at the end of the tape, the whole tape should be read. The second reason, tape drives devices are expensive. The tape media, is cheaper, but the drive itself can be very expensive. And if you don't have unlimited budget for purchasing tape library system, your backup or system administrator should be able to catalog the tapes in physical store and be able to quickly find the required one. If some backup is needed, the tape should be loaded into drive and only then the restore will start. There is also a solution which combines disk and tapes. I'm speaking about virtual tape libraries. Virtual tape libraries take the best of disk and tapes by bringing them into a robust backup repository for your data. I will show you later in this presentation how to use StarWind VTL with Wasabi and VEEAM as a backup software for backupping and restoring the virtual machines. The set media is a cloud, which is the best option as a secondary backup storage for SMB, at least in my opinion. The combination of disk or VTL backup together with cloud is the most cost-efficient way to follow 3-to-1 backup rule. Here you can see advantages and disadvantages of cloud storage for backups. The first advantage is scalability. The storage can be scaled to necessary capacity in the real time. No RAID reconfiguration, adding disk, buying and loading tapes, or similar things. The second one is simple management and low administration cost. You don't need to support underlying infrastructure, and it needs a small amount of administrative time in compared to on-site backup. The sad one is additional reliability, because the most, or I really hope that all cloud providers have redundancy and resiliency of underlying storage, which level is hardly achievable in SMB area. The fourth advantage is capital costs are converted in operational costs, and that can make your chief financial officer more than happy. So, accessibility. Cloud backups can be accessed from any location with internet connection. You don't need to establish some secure connection to the remote site of your own infrastructure and so on. And the last one, in case of being infected, there is a little likelihood that ransomware will be able to utilize S3 or other protocol to infect your data in the cloud storage. But each solution has also disadvantages. Network bandwidth and latency can be often the main bottleneck. You can suffer from unstable link from your on-premises infrastructure to cloud provider's data center. Certainly, there is an option of dedicated link, but this costs additional money, and your data center should be located near the connection points, and actually not all providers have such options. For example, price for AWS Cloud Direct is near $250 monthly for 1 gigabit link, and Azure Express Route is about $436. The second disadvantage can be security concerns. The data is stored on third-party hardware, managed partially by third-party engineers, and transferred mostly via public network. Such security concerns may prevent allowing cloud storage for all backups or for backups of some sensitive data. The third one is risk of service interruption or termination. And I would like to combine the fourth with it, the limited control over backup infrastructure. You don't control the infrastructure. It is from one side as advantage, but it's like a knife that cuts both ways. You cannot predict or prevent service interruption. You should fully rely on cloud providers and their engineers. The worst thing if your provider become bankrupt or will suddenly disappear. Such cases are not related, I hope, at least for well-known cloud providers, but the risk still exists. And the last one, increased operational cost for backups is a questionable disadvantage, but it should be considered. In my opinion, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages if we are talking about the second backup repository for SMB backups. Okay, according to Gartner Magic Quadrant for public cloud storage, there are three leaders in cloud storage markets: AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Certainly, each of them provides powerful cloud services where cloud storage is only a small piece of the whole cake. But if you need just only a serene harbor for your backups, does it make sense to dive into all their services, subscriptions, service plans, and configurations? Besides the Gartner's leaders, there are also nice players which offer high-performing and cost-efficient cloud object storage. And among them is Blackbase and Wasabi. I will focus on Wasabi and how you can upload and recover virtual machines from Wasabi Cloud Storage with StarWind VTL and VEEAM. Let's start with a price comparison. As you just a moment. I see that there are already some questions. I will answer all questions after the presentation. Don't worry. So, as you see, the Wasabi storage has a price of $5.9 per terabyte of data. Here we have prices in gigabyte, and it is in the middle of the table. But let's take a look on the leaders. It's AWS Glacier and Azure LRS Archive. The both block storage require from 5 to 24 hours to retrieve the data from archive to hot tier, and please also keep in mind that there is a price for it. There is also an expedited retrieval, which costs, for example, by AWS about 3 cents for 1 gigabyte. It means about $30 for 1 terabyte. And it's also not the install retrieval from archive to the hot tier. Such archive storage are designed more for archiving 100 terabytes of data and not for backups, which provide instant or quick recovery of small infrastructure. The price for Azure Hot or AWS S3 is 3 to 4 times higher as for Wasabi. Even for leaders, cold tiers, you should pay up to 2 times more. We have also a Backblaze B2 here, one rank higher as Wasabi, with $5 for 1 terabyte monthly. And it is really the cheapest price for hot or standard storage among all listed providers. Then you can ask me, why should I use Wasabi and not Backblaze? There are 2 weak points, in my opinion, of Backblaze towards Wasabi. The first one, there is additional cost for data download. So 1 US cent for 1 gigabyte. It means $10 for terabyte. And there is no data center in Europe yet for Backblaze. There are some gossips that Backblaze is going to open a new one in Netherlands this quarter, but we will talk about this after it will be available for end customers. Wasabi launched a European-based data center in the beginning of this year, and you can store the data now in this data center. The data center locations can be crucial for EMEA users because of network speed and latency, or because of legal regulation that sensitive data shouldn't leave EU data centers. As you noticed, Wasabi is the one in the list with 0 price for data download. You pay only for stored data and nothing else. The last slide shows the time of data upload and retrieval from cloud. East US region were used for cloud storage to ensure a fair play among all competitors. The both upload and download operations of 1 gigabyte virtual tape image has been performed by StarWind software. As you see, all providers shows a similar result. I like to mention, please don't take this result as a real performance. I am sure that if you repeat this test, you will get another numbers. The upload and download time depends more on your infrastructure, location, and network provider. This graphic shows only the tendency that there are no huge performance winners or losers for my test infrastructure. I highly recommend to measure speed from your premises and not rely on the numbers you are seeing now. It is the last slide, and I want to show you now how to backup and restore VEEAM from Wasabi Cloud works. Just give me a couple of seconds. So we have here an infrastructure, main site and disaster recovery site. Each site has one standalone Hyper-V node, and on the main site we see that there is a web server as a virtual machine running on it. We can open web interface or web browser and we'll show that the page can be loaded. Yeah, welcome to the webinar, Wasabi Cloud Storage, as you see. And let's check now the second disaster recovery node. And we should have an MP Hyper-V node. Yeah, there are no virtual machines. Okay, we have a running StarWind VTL and a VEEAM backup here, but it doesn't matter when you have your StarWind service or VEEAM. You can run it in a cloud, or you can install it on a new system. The tapes will be automatically recognized after you connect the cloud storage to the VTL. Now we should choose here Wasabi Cloud Storage, and what we need. We need access key ID, secret access key, bucket name, and region. Let's go to the Wasabi console, and we have here bucket. I will create a new one. Its name webinar elsewhere. I will choose US East region. Next, create bucket. So we have created a new bucket, and we also need access keys. We have already one, but I will create a new one. So access key, I should copy it and store Notepad. And we also need a secret key. Please be informed that if we close it, you cannot get the secret key one time more. Then please store it in your wallet or everything else, or download the CSV with a key. Okay, let's copy, close, and go back here. Should change the region, change the bucket name, and access ID, and secret access key. Next. Now our credential is being checked. It can take a couple of seconds, 10, maybe 15 seconds. Then we will get a window with retention policies. Okay, so here we can set how when the tape should be uploaded to cloud, and should we keep the local copy after the file after the tape will be replicated to cloud. And if we download, for example, one tape, should we keep it in cloud storage or not? So apply. Okay, and now we can go to VEEAM. It needs some couple of seconds to perform the settings. Okay, but we can go to VEEAM. I have already created two backup jobs. One job create a local disk backup, and the second job create backup to tape. And in this case, we're using StarWind VTL. If we open the tape infrastructure, we see that there is a tape server. Here is a media pool, and we see the tapes. Some of tapes have been already used, and we also have empty tapes. Let's go to home, backup. We need to start it manually. Certainly, you can schedule the automatic backups by VEEAM. It's not a problem. And now it is an incremental backup just to save your time, because it's a virtual machine about 2 gigabytes, and it can be really time consuming to back up all in cloud and then download for it. So okay. Okay, 99%. Then go to tape, and we will pick up also this virtual machine to tape. Now we can check the backup settings here. So you see that only web server is configured with this backup, and here is the local repository. Exit applied changes. If we open a StarWind management console, you can see that a tape is loaded in drive 1 and 99%. Okay, so as you see, automatic upload has been scheduled, and we should wait a couple of seconds to upload to cloud, because it's a small amount of data. I think approximately 30 megabytes or something like that. Okay, I will show you the settings for backup to tape job. So we back up only this backup job. Okay, I have manually started the upload because I think something is wrong with our network. Okay, the upload has been started. Okay, I'm sorry, we have some network issues, but as you see, the percentage go higher. I hope we will not spend more than 1 or 2 minutes to upload it. Okay, now I will remove all disk-based backups from the backup repository to show you that only tape backup will be used. Oops, one and the second one. This one's the old one, yeah, it's empty. Okay, then in the meantime, I will shut down the main node. I will simulate the hardware failure or power outage. Yeah, a couple of seconds we will get the message that the main node is down. So, and now then I have free time to answer the question. The question is, what is the protocol used for connect StarWind with Wasabi? Tunneling VPN or other like CIFS or so. Okay, it's connected. Main node is down. So for cloud upload or WTLs, HTTPS is used and native S3 protocols. So like by any other S3 storage access. Okay, let's check. Okay, we have already have here a tape file. Okay, and if we're going to open this website, the starting page will not load it. Okay, I have a second question. Maybe it's not related to backups. The question is, can I access Wasabi storage direct from Windows for file copying? Okay, yes, you can, but third-party software is required, like, for example, S3 browser. And some software allows you to map cloud storage as a drive or folder. So if you're interested in this, I will share this information after our webinar. So okay, we have now one copy of tape in cloud and one locally. I will delete local copy. So, and now I will start the VEEAM recovery to disaster recovery site. We'll go to backups, select tape backup, and we should choose restore the entire machine. We have here a web server. So we need the following tapes. Let's check where this tape is located. It's located here. Okay, now we need to download it. So let's check. It's 36 megabytes. I hope the download will be quicker. Okay, just I repeat the answer regarding the protocol which is used for connect StarWind with Wasabi. HTTPS protocol is used for native S3 protocols. It's like accessing the other cloud storage for AWS or Azure. Okay, download of the tape is complete. We should insert this tape in the drive. Here, OK, and restore directly from tape. Restore to a new location because the old location is not accessible. And now VEEAM is trying to find the main site hosts. That's why it can take also a couple of seconds or 1 minute because our main site host is down. Okay, another question related to VEEAM. What VEEAM edition is required? Okay, for fully automated tape backup, you need Enterprise Edition. But you can also use free edition for file-based backup. It means you should create file to tape job instead backup to tape job. And in this case, you can use a community edition of VEEAM. And we have also StarWind VTL free edition, which fully supports cloud storage. Only the graphical user interface will not be accessible. Okay, now we here alt VM location. We should add a new host. Okay, the IP address of disaster recovery node. Here we can select data store, networks, teams, reason. Okay, and power on target VM after restoring. Okay, let's open Hyper-V Manager. So all tapes with backup files for this virtual machine has been loaded. And now we need to wait, I think, 1 minute. And after that, the virtual machine should be available for usage. Okay, success. Let's check here. Yes, web server is running. Still starting. It is a CentOS-based web server. Yeah, now we can check if our web page will load it. Okay, you see, you have you have already still access to the to the web server. So such way you can easily recover some critical virtual machine in case of any disaster. So as conclusion, I can say that I can recommend Wasabi as offsite backup repository, first of all, for SMB and medium companies, which don't have secondary site for storing backups. Secondly, for those who would like or is obliged to store one backup in cloud and don't need any additional cloud resources like compute resources provided by Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. For those who already has a cloud infrastructure and need backups in another one and only backups. Also, it can be suitable for person who need fully predict expenses for cloud storage because you pay only for capacity and no additional cost for downloading, REST queries, and so on as by other cloud providers. And the last one, but not the least, for those who has a tight budget. Okay, so let's check the questions. There are no more questions. That's why thank you very much for your attention. That's all from my side. If you have some question now, please type it in question screen. I will wait a minute. Okay, no question more, but don't afraid if some question will appear. New question one. Do you have a trial or online simulator? Okay, now I should explain that here we are using three different products. First of all, Wasabi Storage. Yes, sure, Wasabi has 1 month trial, as far as I remember. So the second one is StarWind VTL. We have a full featured trial version, and also we have a free version for StarWind VTL. And VEEAM, as for VEEAM, there is certainly a trial for VEEAM Enterprise, and as I explained, you can also use a community edition, which is fully free. But in this case, you should do a manual job. You cannot recover the virtual machine directly from tape backup. You should restore a file backup from tape, and only after that restore the virtual machine. Okay, I will paste a link for StarWind trial version download page for all of you. Okay, send all. Here is the link. Okay, maybe any other questions? So the recording of this video should be available on our website in 1 or 2 weeks. and you can comment with a question this video, and we will be glad to answer you. Then, thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day, nice evening, and goodbye.